I'd like to introduce our panel moderator first, that is Mr. Amit Bajoria, who is the CFO for 𝗪𝐺𝐻 Corporation. To join him, we have Mr. Subhasis Gupta, who is the CFO and Hub Controller at Hitachi Energy, Mr. Arpit Chug, who is the CFO at Razorpay, Moulinath Ganguli, who is Director Sales at M Exchange, and Mr. Subash, who is the Senior Director Finance at Dell Technologies. I would request all the panel members to please join us on stage.
So I'm sure you guys have been hearing a lot from the morning about digital, technology, RPAs, analytics. I'm sure you must all be bored with all the jargon which has been used by everyone from the morning. So I don't think we can avoid the jargon, that we have no other choice but to use some jargon. But we will take a bit different take on the entire thing. I think the panel discussion is all about how as a function, which is a finance function, is prepared for tomorrow. And when we mean prepared for tomorrow, it is just not about technology. It is about looking at the entire competencies. It is looking at the working in the new era or a new world where you are working in a work from home mode, global mode. You are working not only about a finance function, means I'm sure all the finance professionals here will agree. Now we just don't do a job as a CFO, means we are expected to do lot more job in other functions as well, because you are looked as a co-pilot to a CEO, and if you are a co-pilot to a CEO, you cannot be saying, hey, I'm good at closing MIS or a book closer, you need to understand business. So how as a function we are prepared, and I have a team panel with me who will share their perspective, what they are doing and how they preparing their organization and their function. That's what we plan to cover in the next 20-25 odd minutes. And we have few questions prepared, guys, and maybe hopefully we'll run out of the questions soon, and then we'll open up for this folks to ask any other questions. So let me start first with Subhasis and Arpit. You guys can share your perspective. Yeah. And the first question is, what is the future of finance? Is it technology or is it people?
Good question, Amit, but you know, it is not or. This is and, actually. I think we all agree to that. In fact, we are in our Hitachi Energy, we have a purpose for our finance function globally. And this purpose is evolving around people and digital core. We are talking about we will be a trusted partner and who will be fully compliant with the processes and the statutory requirement. And we will be increasing our competence through talented people and digital core. And when we talk about digital core, it is not that digital will take the center space and people will be evolving around that. The most important is, you know, in today's world, digital is a very high level of buzzwords. We always say that people first, they should understand that what they want, where the requirement is, and how can we improve our operation, day-to-day operation, as well as how we are future ready, in the sense how we are partnering with the business where we can bring value to the business through the digital. That is why the first thing we did is we build our sort of a continuous improvement team, like a service excellence team that is supporting the finance function. And what Amit has said, finance is not alone, We are working like a COO in a company. So we are very much connected with all the other functions and also the business. Well, finally, it should bring value to the business. And we are the persons who are more focused into the internal control, the compliance, all those stuff should also be taken care of with the digital part also. So it should not happen that, we are running, Mercedes in a mudded road. The road is not prepared and we are taking, high-end things to our core. So that is the things which our service excellence team, in tandem with our finance team, as well as other functions, so to say, legal compliance, supply chain, and also the HR, certain, purpose, certain things in the HR is also important because travel, people-related costs are also coming from there. So they take the input from us and see that where they can bring value to us And final decision with, of course, with the finance. It is not that, they are running, because in today's world, these people are very competent. I am talking about our current generation, what we call Generation X or Alpha, who are into the business, into this, they are very quick in adapting the new things. And when these things comes, and there are people who are into the service excellence or digital team, they are also bringing new and new ideas. And not all ideas could be, really useful for our day-to-day operations or even for the future. But we need to pick and choose. And that is where people is important. Knowledge of business. And it is not, one size fits all. It is very organization specific. The maturity of organization and the digital path that is the first thing each organization should do. The digital maturity assessment, that where we need the more and more, latest things, be it AI or whatever, name it. Everything is available. And on top of that, the cyber security, because everything is in cloud. So we should be mindful of that. I'm just giving, an overall ambit of, what we see. People is important, and digital is also important. But people first, digital come next. But we should leverage this, that is for sure. And we are in a world that we cannot just say that is something else, someone else will be taking care of that. We need to take care of that with the caveat that we should not be overwhelmed of the things. We should be very mindful that what is required and how it will be adding value to our business. I'm just giving, the overall perspective of this. Yeah.
Sure. So, no, I think you mentioned this, right? This is not a people or technology. I do believe that technology will continue to play a greater role in what we do as any business, and particularly as a finance org, right? Whether right from functions like controlling AP, AR. In financial operations, automation. So I think technology will continue to make life more convenient. And I think people have to adapt to that, in the sense that it actually is a great opportunity to not worry about, if I can say, mundane activities related to closing of books, mundane activities related to pulling out the reports, because a lot of that stuff is going to be, we should leverage technology. And I think as individuals, as finance leaders, this gives us a great opportunity for us to focus on doing stuff which is closer to what the business needs in terms of decision support, in terms of understanding what the data is showing rather than producing it, right? To be, to simply put it like that. I actually feel that technology will continue to accelerate in terms of where it can support, functions that all of us are doing, whether finance, whether risk, whether operations. And I think people will need to scale up, not just in terms of being able to leverage and use that technology, but actually scale themselves up so that they are, it doesn't, just getting things done, preparing a report or getting some answers out or closing books is not going to be enough. It's going to be, what do you do with that? What do you do after that, right? So I think it's going to be a combination of, so maybe differing a bit. People are extremely important, but I think technology is going to run at its own pace, and people will have to, adapt a bit as well in the coming years, I feel.
Oh, no, thanks, Arpit, and thanks, Subhasis. I think this was fairly good. So the way, and I think it summarizes that perspective. People always ask, will AI replace humans? I think the summary of what Subhasis and Arpit says, AI will not replace humans, but humans with AI will definitely replace humans without AI. So we have to leverage technology as we drive, because it makes us more productive. So let's take on from there. Means if we all agree that technology is important and people are important, I think both have to live together. There's still, we all as a finance professional and CFOs find difficult to get digital talent who can help us too. So my next question to you, Subhas, how do we deal with this problem? Because this is the real problem.
No, you're perfectly right. I mean, that's not a skill set that is very easily available, because we are looking at a combination of, or rather, kind of digital finance skills, I mean, which is not available. And like I was just saying earlier, we are not trained in that fashion. So the first thing is we need to invest in our own people to convert them into, enhance their skills to make them digitally more skilled. That's one. And the second thing is we need to think a little bit beyond finance. I mean, I don't need always my finance people to be with me. So that's where saying we need to get people like the data scientists and those people who have those kinds of skills also being part of the finance function. So it is not necessarily that you need to be an accountant or an FP&A guy or somebody to be here. But I also have a data guy, and with whom I can share the data. And he's not going to tell me, prepare a balance sheet for me, but he will tell me what the data tells me. And that will help me to enable and help the business take the right decisions. So we have to develop, and that's a developing field, and I'm expecting that it'll develop in the future. Just one more point I just want to kind of add, because we also take these CA interns, people in their industrial training in the final year. And we have seen that when they come in, they do not have these skills, but they are extremely fast in learning. So when you give them a little bit of exposure to kind of say that, okay, this is what you can do, and they come up and they deliver things which you do not expect that an intern can deliver. So I think we should not underestimate the capability of people, but you give them the opportunity, we can definitely train them for all these requirements.
No, makes sense, makes sense. No, this is again very interesting, but it kind of leads again to the next question, Subhas, which is, one is getting a new talent, which is a digital talent, but end of the day we have huge workforce which are working today for us. How do you ensure that that moves? And that will be my next question to Molly, you. As we find the new talent which Subhas talked about, whether outside, data scientists, but how do you ensure your existing talent get retrained, or how do you transition that? That's a big challenge from a change management perspective. So what's your take on that, Molly? How do you deal with that as a finance professional?
Let me just first start by giving a perspective on the new waves or the new paradigms that we are coming across in finance and the overlap with technology. So if you see, there is more and more disintermediation that is happening across organizations, across companies, in finance, in technology, etc. The second important feature or characteristic that we will increasingly see across, with the increasing relevance of technology, is how much technology is able to touch individuals' lives. Because technology is fine, but as long as it does not touch our lives, it won't serve any purpose. So to bring out this point, let me take some data here. So let's say if we take our country, there are about 6 crore MSME units. And each of these units are perennially short of funds, or the more funds they get, the more business they can do. They contribute to about 30% of the country's GDP. So that's a substantial amount. And there are about 11 crore employees in the country working solely in MSMEs. So therefore, if you see, if every person has 4 family members, so there are about 40 crore people in the country who are dependent on the MSME sector in the country. And that is like about 25 to 30% of the entire population in the country. Now, the key point, therefore, is how is disintermediation bringing in more technology, or how is technology helping in more disintermediation? How is technology touching our lives in every way that we can envisage, or in increasing ways that we can envisage? So to that extent, what we are seeing, for example, I am from a fintech which works a lot with companies across the country, and if you take the number of organizations in the country, 6 crores, it's not possible to touch that manually or on a person-to-person basis. So we are relying more on data science. We are relying more and more on reaching out to social media. And what we are seeing is the more we reach out to them, the more sophisticated the data science and data analysis becomes, the better we are able to service our customers, or the better we are able to reach out to more customers and fulfill their requirements and demands. This is my experience, and I hope that is in sync with what most of us here have come across.
Arpit, but your take on the same topic. How are you ensuring there's the right transition, change management within your organization and your workforce?
Yeah. So, I think, we talk about finance and technology, and I think there are two ways we are trying to kind of get the org to be ready. We have, people with the finance background, chartered accountants, we are teaching them a bit of tech, right? And when I say teaching a bit of tech, using more and more tools, right? I mean, everybody goes through a journey of, I'm giving a simplest example, you start taking a more sophisticated ERP tool and you familiarize yourself with that. Now you've got, SaaS tools for almost everything out there, right? Even if I'm also constantly asking the teams to evaluate the tools out there, even if we think we are not going to be, using them in the short term, because you need to know what's happening, what are some of the developing trends. So we kind of exposing the finance people to technologies and tools. But what we are also doing, and I think it was alluded to by the other panelists, is we are looking at bringing completely new kind of talent into the finance organization. People who are tech first, right? And when I say tech first, whether they're data scientists, whether they're people who are used to dealing with large volumes of data, and therefore, there was always there was a time where there were some people who could like do SQL coding, but they would need to pass on that data to someone to analyze it. We are encouraging those people also to learn finance, right? So I'm trying to move some of the finance people to become finance tech, and I'm also hiring people with technology background or coding background, but trying to get them more familiar with finance concepts as well. And I think having a mix of those kind of people in the organization then hopefully feeds off each other. Broadly, I would say, and I'm kind of maybe mentioned it in my earlier comments as well. See, technology is going to allow us to all be more productive, and more productive is always a good thing, right? I mean, there's always fear that more productivity means. I think, what does that mean? I think more productivity means eventually more business, and therefore for people to be doing different things necessarily, not the same ones that they were doing a couple of years ago, and that happens when you're learning some skills.
No, it makes sense. I think in summary, what I hear, what everyone is saying, hey, it has to be a mix of both. We need to ensure that our existing talent pool get upgraded, and we also kind of get external talent pool coming in, which is data scientists and other kind of roles. I'm sure the new generation, which I think Subhasis you talked about, which is Gen X or whatever, they have been growing, or they will be passing chartered accountancy by going through ChatGPT. Obviously, they'll be better than all of us. Let's be honest about it.
Yes.
When we passed, ChatGPT never existed. So yeah, how do we ensure that the blend and the mix of both, which makes it better? Maybe Subhasis, you wanted to add something.
Yeah. I can give you the practically that we are also having a GCC, a big global competency center with finance, HR, SCM, and also the engineering center. And what I was stating that, like what you have said, that we need to have a good blending. Like people with the real background of, this digital and IT and IS and all those latest developments, they come forward with what we call a continuous improvement service excellence team, and they are working hand in hand with all the functions. And in each function, we have, created a team of people who will be capturing the requirement, which will be given to this team, and who will be working together to bring out the final solution. So this is something as a win-win situation. Like what you have said, that it is, in today's generation, they are very fast. They adapt very quickly. We are of the old, but we are also learning from them that how quickly they can adapt. And the other part is, as a practical thing, actually, we run sort of a digital week every 6 months.
Yeah.
So that is something is encompassing the whole organization, and everyone comes, and we have the booths and all this thing. They share their experiences, they bring from there, and we give to each team, right? We need to bring ideas, and ideas could be anything. And then next 6 months, the people will be working on those ideas. I mean, screening the ideas, putting these, and which are really, even if you bring out 100 ideas, and if you can implement 5 out of them, we are happy. So that will bring value to the organization as a whole. So this is the way we need to embrace. I mean, when I see the people and digital without, like what you have said, rightly, the nowadays we have to add it with AI or whatever digital. We cannot say that we are only finance, we are only in the numbers, nothing else. No. So ultimately, the aim is it should be purpose driven. It should not come just like that. I mean, something which really executable and which brings value finally. It should not be just like, doing for doing.
No.
For the sake of doing, we should not do anything.
No, I think very insightful, very insightful. I will take one clue from what Subhasis you just said about digital week. See, in our organization, we have just launched for top 1,000 leaders. Doesn't matter which finance function you belong, risk, legal, delivery, operation. Everyone has to go through a training program on AI. It is an external program. You have to train for 10 hours. You have to take an assessment after that, because we all feel that technology will impact us in some shape and form. So we all have to come out of our comfort zone, because many times we feel as a finance function, I have nothing to do with this technology, I have nothing to do with that technology. But this is the way it is evolving. It will intertwine across, and we need to be part of it, not away from it. So I think that's very, very important. So let me ask, and maybe everyone can add, and I'll start with you, Subhas, on this. Means, do we think we are ready for finance of the future, or we need to do a lot more from where we are today?
See, I think we are definitely getting there. I mean, the whole fact that we are discussing here on this topic shows that the awareness is there. That's the key thing, and we are definitely getting there. We are moving with the curve. That's the way I see, but we definitely have a long way to go. And different organizations may be at different levels, but as a function as a whole, I think we are in the right direction.
Good to hear. So, Molly, your view?
Yeah, I agree with him. The awareness is paramount. It is there. Every organization is realizing the importance of these disruptive technologies. So, like you said, every organization is at different points of the scale, but everyone is making an attempt, because otherwise we become uncompetitive at the end of the day. True.
I'll quote something I heard a long time ago, and it stuck with me, that we generally overestimate the impact technology will have in the next 12 to 15 months, and grossly underestimate the impact it will have in the next 5 to 7 years.
True.
And I think, so therefore, if we think about 5 to 7 years, I feel very unprepared at this point, because I think the world will look very, very different with how, and I think we've all experienced that with AI, right? There was this big hype for a few months. It kind of seems to have settled down now, but I think the same amount of activity is taking place somewhere where, capabilities are being built out. So
yeah, no, very true, very true.
I also agree with that, actually. As finance professionals, I think we all went through many transitions, many transformations. For us, it is not new, but not for all the functions in the organization. So that is why finance is always valued, in a different way. They have looked upon, because not that we are all finance, but it is the fact, actually. In our times, what Subash was studying, when we passed out the CA, and when we joined, we had the EDP department.
Yeah.
Huh? They were, every evening, they were putting all those data together. But now we are in, ERP and high-end ERP, app-based things, you can do anything from anywhere. And COVID also taught us that we can also work from home, work from Hawaii, whatnot. And all this could be possible with high level of digital, sort of what development has happened worldwide in the digital era. And on top of that, the cyber security is a point, we all should be mindful of that, because more and more we are into the cloud base within the digital, we are depending on the networks. And also the AI, I know some 5-7 companies in the world will be, dictating the whole world. Not an easy time we are heading to, but at the same time, what you have said, we need to be prepared for this. That is what actually we continue to do, and we have a huge, I personally have a huge confidence on the new generations. I mean, like what you have said, they are very quick. And if you are not giving them the digital, they are, not with you. They will not come to you. And what organization I am going where technology is not there. So we need to be there, of course. And also we should be seeing that how it will be sustainable, where we can get maximum value out of that, and we should not be left behind.
No, makes sense, makes sense. So, see, I think what if I have to summarize, the take is, as a function, we have seen calculator itself was a big technology development, right? When we were doing manual, obviously I was not in that generation, but I know there were a few colleagues who have gone through this generation. Then Excel, we thought, it's a God gift to mankind, I don't think, and it's still a God gift to mankind. But now with AI and all of the new technology which we're talking about, RPA in the morning we discuss about, I think it's evolving, and we have kind of adopting to it. Means I can say, when I passed my chartered accountancy, today the direct tax has changed, indirect tax has changed, corporate law has changed, accounting has changed, nothing. Whatever I read, and I'm sure true for all of us here, so we have adopted. So I think the most important for as a function, how do we adopt, how do you embrace the technology, and then we work towards it. That's a take, and that's will keep us preparing more and more as we go forward. So if any other question from the audience, we'll be happy to answer, any panel member, whoever you want to answer, but we are pretty much done. I don't know, Swapnil, we have a time for 1 or 2 questions. If there are, we will be happy to take. We have? Yes. Yes.
Do we have any questions?
Please. I think there is the gentleman.
Please feel free to put up forward your questions. Yeah.
I am Prashant Shukla from Everest Group. So basically, I belong to a technology advisory and research field. So frankly, I don't really belong to the finance organization. My question to you is that as a CFO organization, right, do you feel that you have the same leverage to invest on technology versus, say, an operating office? Now, I understand there are 2 dimensions to it. There can be one dimension of data security, where you will get the utmost investment. But in terms of productivity improvements and other things which you would want, do you think you have the same leverage within the broader organization compared to other departments like the operating office or other offices? Thank you.
Anyone who wants, then maybe.
I can take that. The answer is often comes from this group, right? Is that we have limited investment dollars to invest, and often business will get first priority, right? I mean, if there are limited dollars, so I think we are sometimes often the decision makers who would say that the business needs to get the investment first. But I think increasingly, I think there is realization that I think the function has gained tremendous importance over the last several years, I believe, and I think the effective role that is provided as a co-pilot to the CEO, I think somebody mentioned, I think now makes it much more easier to ask for productivity improvements and technology investments, but it is certainly still a journey, but I think in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what he said. The only point I would want to kind of add is that it's also how you present the business case. I mean, definitely anything that's going to be having a customer impact will always take priority. That's what we would always say that. But the processes that we support or we work on do not exist on their own. They also ultimately exist only because of the customer. So if you are able to demonstrate what it can contribute to the business, I'm sure there should be means in which it can be prioritized.
No, I think I totally agree with Subhas. See, many times we look investment only from productivity perspective. Again, technology adoption is nothing to do with productivity. Productivity is byproduct. The main product has been, can you create a business impact, customer impact? And if you can, through any of the technology adoption, the dollars are there. Because end of the day, it will save to your bottom line. So I think every business is willing to do that till the time you can show the business case which Subhas spoke about. That's a way to look at it.
Just to add to that.
Yeah, please.
You need to produce some use cases. Without that, business will not understand. Let us be very practical. Yeah. We have so many things in the world. Put that to the use case, give them the value. Immediately they will pick up. Because ultimately we need to go to customer with quality, with of course the cost at the optimum level and the service. So we have two-way, we need to look at it. Not only from the CFO side, but also from the technology side, that how we are bringing this together.
Any last question, team, before we kind of break?
Team, I am Sidram from DXC Technology, finance professional, but got more into data science, business analytics, all of that. So one question more towards the subject, whether are we ready for the future, for finance future? So I heard from Subash that no, we are almost there. So my question is, no, it's thin line between we are almost there and to be there, right? So what is that? Let's say 1, 2, 3 things that we should do to be there from no where we are almost there. Thank you.
Let me just correct. We're on the right direction. So we have to still get there. We are not yet there. So see, it is creating more awareness, more developing the skill sets. I think the first important thing for all of this is to ensure that the people are embracing technology. So how can we enable our existing people? We cannot always look at only the younger crowd coming in. They're definitely going to add a lot of value. But our existing people, how can we equip them better to do that? I think that's what will increase the pace of adoption, and that's how, in my view, we'll get there.
I think I'll just add by saying that it's an ever-evolving path. So it's like the goalpost keeps getting shifted. You know, you achieve somewhere, and then you'll see new technology coming in, so you have to move further ahead. So I mean, it's a direction, not really that whether you've got there or not.
And I hope today's session itself is the first step to that. That is this awareness of that we need to embrace itself is a big change, right? That's the way we should look at it. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you all the panel members for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.